joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Kurt, thanks for taking the time this morning. What does the week before the game mean to you?
That's a great question. I think the week before you spend your whole really off season, your season really building up for this moment. I love the traditions that Tress had in place for us as far as going with the band. I know they moved that up a couple weeks early, so it wasn't quote unquote a distraction, which is fine. But I love those little nuances. Honestly, I love the Mirror Lake jump that got banned. Everything that led up to the game, you appreciated it all because it was like the culmination of the pinnacle. You hit the peak before, the back half of whatever the rest of your season would give you. But honestly, playing in my freshman year, 1 versus 2, it was nothing short of amazing. And then from there, it was the last game that Lloyd Carr got to coach, which was a loss for him, which was great. And, and everything else that ensued from the rest of my time there, it was great because that game always meant you were either going to a national championship game or one of the top at that time BCS bowl games.
Kurt, what do you have to say about the fact that obviously last year they lost this game, but still won the national championship? Some people think, now that there's this CFP, like it's lost some value in the game. Do you agree with that, or do you still look at it the same?
Do I? Hey, I'm not going to let you dangle that carrot in front of me right now. I will say this. I don't think that the game has lost any of its mystique and its feeling. I believe that this game still means a lot to a lot of people. But I also recognize and understand that there is, like I said, right now Ohio State is playing for something much bigger, and they want that big ring at the end of this run. But I would be hard pressed to say not everyone in that facility and in that locker room does not want to win this game, and I think that's just the feeling. But I also realize that you have to understand, and it's just like in the NFL. Yeah, do you want to beat your divisional rivals? No doubt, but to win it all, to say that you are the champion, it means a lot, and that's cemented in history.
Kurt Coleman joining us in the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We talked to Coach Tress yesterday, and when we asked him about going up to Michigan, he's a politician. He's the lieutenant governor of Ohio right now. But yet he even had to say, he dropped the guard a little bit and was like, oh, I hate that place. Going up there to play this game as the Buckeyes are doing this weekend, obviously, you had some success up there. Your senior year, you had 2 picks in the big house and kind of ruined their day. You can make of it what you want if you're a Buckeye player. Does it feel good when you do those type of things and the whole crowd is just the air just taken out of that building?
Yes. So the 2 times that when I went up there, 07, 09, the best feeling, literally the best feeling. And so any fans that do plan on going up there, the best feeling is probably midway through the 4th quarter was for both games. You started hearing an OHIO chant going around. And at that time, I never felt like it was a big house. And it's just the way that honestly, the stadium is kind of constructed. It holds a lot of people, but I never felt like it was an intimidating place to go and play. I felt like it was Mikasa at a lot of times because you make it what you want. And so I honestly, I loved going up there, not because of the state, but just because I got to claim something else. When dogs go around and, I'd take my dogs on walks, and for whatever reason, he wants to stop every 50 yards. And it's someone else's new yard, and you got to mark your territory. I like marking my territory multiple times up there.
I love it. That's great.
Kurt, how do you see this one playing out? I don't know if you've been able to watch, the Wolverines at all this year. They've dealt with some injuries at the running back room, but their second string running back Jordan Marshall said that he's definitely playing in this game. How do you see this one panning out? What do you think the Buckeyes need to do to walk away victorious?
Well, I think the number one thing is it's going to be you have to stop this run. I think this Michigan run game is dynamic, and I say that because they've had multiple running backs come through and be productive within the system, and I think that's been the case for years. There's several guys that are averaging over 4.5 yards a carry, but your number 3 running back is your their quarterback. So you better be able to handle the quarterback runs, the dynamic plays that break down that is supposed to be a pass play. So I think the defensive line, I'm putting extra pressure on the defensive line to make sure that their rush lanes I think they're targeted, they're segmented, and I think they're working together, because the worst thing that you can have is great coverage on the back end, Tyvis, as you know, and a defensive end is not staying in his gap. He wants to get greedy and come underneath the tackle, and then boom, you break out for a 25-yard run, and then, like, things like that, I think are going to get you beat. I think if we just play discipline, which I believe we are a very disciplined defense, and you let Sonny Styles or even Rivalries, which he's done in the past when we played Washington, and he spies the quarterback. And it's like, hey, buddy, you want to run out here? I got something for you. That's the game plan, because I don't believe they can just beat us in a straight up passing game attack. We have the weapons on the outside, and obviously we do have enough guys that can get after the quarterback, but we have to be disciplined on defense. And then offensively, we got to find ways to continue to move the ball like we have. I think whether our wide receivers are playing or aren't playing, we have enough people. You saw Max Clare have a huge breakout game, which was, I think, it only adds to the dynamic offensive weapons that we have. We've known what he's been able to do at Purdue. I was like, when is that game going to happen when Max kind of breaks out? We saw that. He's able to kind of take over a game and really be that next key target for Julian Sain. And obviously, I still think Bo Jackson has to continue to ride that horse. He's ran the ball very well as a true freshman. But then we have those other guys. When we get down the red zone, though, we have to punch the ball in.
Now, Kurt, I know you're in Charlotte, and I know you deal with a lot of probably SEC and ACC fans down there, but have you heard this talk about the Iron Bowl being just as big of a deal as the Ohio State-Michigan game? And if so, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I laugh at that stuff when I hear it.
One of my good friends, Roman Harper, he's a Bama guy, and obviously, look, being down here, yes, you'll get that talk, but it's fool's gold. They know what the true rivalry and honestly, if you were to ask anybody who are the greatest rivalry teams, it's Ohio State, Michigan, and then it's UNC Duke for basketball. The Iron Bowl, it's there as far as I could put a top 5, but you're not putting it number 1, and it's clear. They know that, but we're stubborn down here, and I'm trying to break the mold, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, keep doing God's work down there in Charlotte, because I know it's just tough sometimes talking to these people where they live in their own bubble. But you know the truth, and we appreciate everything you did with the Buckeyes and all that time that you were here. And we look forward to talking with you again soon. All right, Kurt?
Absolutely, guys. Thank you guys for having me. And hey, go Bucks.
Go Bucks indeed. Be Michigan. There you go. Kurt Coleman on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll take a break, switch gears when we come back. We'll get into the huddle. Some NFL talk next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Well, we are so